Selamat pagi, Bapak Ibu yang terhormat. Perkenankan saya melaksanakan dokumen pernyataan diri dosen unjuk kerja Tridharma Perguruan Tinggi atau PDD UKT-PT bidang pengajaran sertifikasi dosen. Disampaikan oleh saya sendiri, Dr. Edita Praditya, SOS MISMA, NIDN 031 403 7402 dari Universitas Pertahanan Republik Indonesia. Perkenalkan, my biography, I will give it in English because I teach at the Defense Management class, which is actually an international class. I have a professional experience as a postgraduate lecturer at Republic of Indonesia Defense University, known as UNHAN RI, since the very beginning of UNHAN in 2010. And I also teach at the Indonesian National Army Command and Staff College, SESCO TNI, for the military strategy campaign for the postgraduate program, and also for the methodology research approach. And also senior lecturer at the Army, Navy, and Air Force Command and Staff College, and especially I teach Strategic Defense Masters program. I also have the experience as executive and senior analyst, senior editor for Intelligence, Politics and Security, East Asia, Australia and Sub-Saharan Africa, for Foreign Investment and Research Service, London, UK in 2022. And I guest lecture for a long time for Advanced Media Training class at Command and General Staff College, CGSC, in US Army, Fort Leavenworth in Kansas. That's from the year 2011 and 2012. I also contribute as the part of the writing editor at the IISS, International Institute for Strategic Studies in Washington, D.C. from 2010 and 2007, 2010. But way before that, actually, I was also part of IISS since 2002. I'm also a member of Library Congress and National Press Club in Washington, D.C. from 2007 to 2010. Another professional experience, I was a contributor for IISS and THIS, the Hospitality and Information Service, as for an organization that really connects all Washington, D.C. diplomats. I'm a writer, editor, and internship at the International Institute for Strategic Studies, IISS, based in London, United Kingdom, and at the time, we are mapping around 80 global armed conflict database, 80 countries, yeah? So we provide profiling from political, military, security, economy, social, refugee, and humanity in each country. And also, we are initial formation team of Shangri-La Dialogue from 2002 until 2004. And also, I guest lecture at Cranfield University, Chippenham, United Kingdom, for global security studies. Early years, 25 years ago, more than 25 years ago, year 2002, 2003. And I myself is also a journalist at the English daily, the Jakarta Post, from 10 years, 1997 to 2007. And I'm one of the founders and managing editors of Indonesian Foreign Information Service of years, 1996, 2006. And a lot have been said and done, but I contribute, guest lecture, and become the moderator for various seminar, research, study, and classes in United Kingdom, Britain, United States, Singapore, and of course, Indonesia. I have a formal education. I just graduated, actually, 24th of August, 2024. I got an award as best graduates from the University of Defense of the Republic of Indonesia, and I was awarded the degree by our beloved President, Papa Prabowo Subianto, who was our defense minister at the time. And my dissertation, my concentration, is for intelligence policy and defense management, and it spanned from 20 years of research from 2002 until 2022, surpassing 3 living presidents, President Megawati Soekarno-Putri, President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono, and President Joko Widodo. And I got 2 master degrees. The first one I got as a British Chevening Scholar, which is Master of Art in War Studies from King's College London. And in 2000, that was the year 2002, 2003, and 2008, 2010, I got another master's degree that I pursued from American Military University in West Virginia, majoring in intelligence studies. And back in 2001, 2002, I was also the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung Center Fellowship at Manila, the Ateneo University for reporting in conflict. And I graduated from University of Indonesia, Faculty of Social and Political Science for FISIP UI, majoring in sociology back from 1992 to 1996. And I have a lot of non-formal education actually. In 1997, back then, it was the start of digitalization. Yeah, the world was just known to internet, and I, majoring in intelligence studies, we study the conflict analysis, high and low intensity conflict, war camouflage in Indonesia, in Britain, and in the US, of course. And 2012, I got a certificate from United States Army Family Team Building. Also in 2012, I got the certificate for United States Army Community Service for cybersecurity, for mentoring, training, and for financial readiness. From 2008 until 2011, I also have the certification of the research method, especially for security and intelligence and analysis data from American Military University in West Virginia. And then 2007-2010, I got also certified for forecasting terrorism, interagency operation, competitive intelligence, and national security, also from my alma mater, American Military University in USA. And the most important thing, I think, for the human capital development, ladies and gentlemen, I also certified in intelligence leadership, management, and coordination from American Military University. And in 1999, we also have this nuance of digitalization, and I was also awarded a certification in webmaster and multimedia development. Back in 1992, because I was also a journalist, we have a training for advanced media training for print journalism and broadcasting. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I have wrote extensive publication and books. The book is in Indonesia, and some of it is also translated into English. Among the publication, the books are Geopolitik dan Geostrategi Pertahanan Tantangan Keamanan Global. It is published by Indonesia Emas Group, yeah, and but also available in any platform from Amazon, Google, and also Gramedia, and any kind of bookstore, online and offline. Yeah, and then Fearless Leadership, Pengaruh Keberanian dalam Komando Militer. I write this book together with Professor Samsul Ma'arif. Yeah, he is the founder of BNPB. And I write also Manajemen Logistik Pertahanan, Transformasi Manajemen Pertahanan Indonesia di Era Modernisasi Militer, MSDM Pertahanan Modern, Konsep dan Implementasinya, Potensi dan Tantangan Inovasi dalam Manajemen Pertahanan Nasional, Membangun Keunggulan Kompetitif di Era Modern, semuanya bersama Indonesia Emas Group. Dan Bapak Ibu sekalian, ladies and gentlemen, I also actively write an international journal. One of the highlights that really connects with my dissertation in human intelligence are the role of human intelligence, or human, in deterring cyber attacks and digital disruption, published by Migration Letters, and also the strengthening ASEAN food security and facing the threat of crisis in the era of globalization. Because at that time, we are having a new push for the new administration for food security or ketahanan pangan. And also we talk about the defense perspective of the implementation of ASEAN Outlook on the Indo-Pacific, or AOIP, also by Migration Letters. And the most updated one is about National Cybersecurity Policy Analysis for Effective Decision-Making in the Age of Artificial Intelligence, or AI, by Journal of Human Security. And because this world is changing, and Indonesia just have staged Indo Defense in 2025, and Indonesia is the host. Kementerian Pertahanan, dalam hal ini Indonesian Ministry of Defense is the host. In 2023 also Indonesian defense industry policy in changes. And in terms of history of war, because I teach also the major for history of war for Indonesian Defense University, there's two significant journals that were published already under my name. The first one is on airborne diplomacy, a strategic analysis of the Berlin airlift air power perspective, and the motivation behind the Pearl Harbor attack, or a focus on energy security. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the opportunity. And also for the national one, saya juga menulis secara nasional, ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Ibu sekalian. The Journal of Indonesia Sustainable Development Planning, Volume 4, published my writing about Nusantara Capital City or IKN, the threat and defense strategy for Indonesia new capital. And then I also write about building disaster resilient tourism through strengthening disaster management strategy in Batu City in Malang, and also the management green industry and its implication towards the security of environment. And of course, for the structure of AHP or Analytic Hierarchy Process for Natural Disaster Management in making decision on military operations other than war in TNI. And the last one is more also on the human capital development, is implementasi pendidikan semi militer di sekolah kedinasan sebagai pencetak SDM pertahanan untuk mendukung pertahanan negara. Demikian Bapak Ibu sekalian, terima kasih dan sekian. Pada pembelajaran dan pemenuhan sertifikasi dosen kali ini, kami sampaikan RPS atau Rencana Pembelajaran Semester mengenai History of War. Course description. This course aims to provide comprehension of the various war that occurred in Indonesia and the world and gain important lesson to students as national defense intellectual. Student learning outcomes comprises of three main domains. The first is cognitive domain, where students are able to analyze issues related to the history of war that occurred in Indonesia and the world. The second one is affective domain, where students are able to demonstrate value and attitude in understanding all aspects regarding the history of war. And the third one are psychomotor domain, which is students are able to explain all aspects of the history of war and draw the lesson for Indonesia national defense development. And we have 14 classes. 14 classes. The first one is history of war and theory on warfare. The second one is fellow nation war, land and naval warfare. The third one is Napoleonic Wars, diplomacy in war. The fourth is Java War or Perang Diponegoro. The fifth one is American Civil War. The sixth is World War I. 7, Chinese Civil War. 8, World War II in Europe, which is amphibious assault in Normandy. And number 9, World War II Pacific, which is naval warfare. And number 10, Indonesia National Revolution, guerrilla warfare atau perang gerilya. 11 is Vietnam War, strategic bombing. And the 12th one is Soviet-Afghan War for guerrilla warfare. The 13th one is Falkland War, air warfare. And the 14th and the final one are Gulf War, Iraq-Kuwait, which is on land warfare. And the list of references, we use a lot of references from the historian, especially the war historian, military and defense, that comes ranging from before BC until the current one, from Europe, Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, and all 7 continents of the world. Among them are from Stephen Poe and Vincent Crone, and a lot of it derived from all aspects of civilization of the world. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Bapak Ibu yang terhormat, the class of history of war, we come to the 10th meeting, which is the World War II Pacific War. We talk about naval warfare. And in this occasion, is especially for those following online, this class is a hybrid class for those of the students that are in Salemba, and also those of you probably in certain assignment that cannot follow. For those of you Bapak in Papua or in Sulawesi, And this class is for Defense Management Study Program, Faculty of Defense Management. And we're going to study this session. The scope of discussion is the first one is the cause of the World War II, the Pacific War. And we talk about the brief history of the World War II, which is mentioned specifically on Pacific War. We talk about the sea power and Japanese naval warfare strategy and the sea power and US naval war strategies. And in this war, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find out how the Japanese, especially in their fighting spirit, are trying to win the Second World War against the US, and the US suffer a huge loss in Pearl Harbor attack. The references used in when we talk about the Pacific War is from P.K. Oyong, Perang Pasifik, PT Kompas Media Nusantara, from Costello, the Pacific War, W.B. Hopkins, and the Strategy, Politics, and Player That Won the War, J.A. Adams, if Mahan ran the Great Pacific War, an analysis on World War II naval strategy, Richard Natkiel, and Anthony Preston, this is a famous book about Atlas of Maritime History. And also Anthony Livesley, Battles of Great Commanders, the Great Battles of the Modern World by Peter Young, Hill Goodspeed, the Navy, Navy Historical Foundation, and Jeffrey White and Lemon Lindstrom. This is also very important, the Pacific Theater, Island Representation of World War II. And Stanley Sander wrote about World War II in the Pacific as an complete encyclopedia. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the world's most read references, and I hope you understand the context and Indonesia can learn how to deter and avoid war from happening.
What happened in Pacific War? Yeah, the member of alliances. See, yeah, we learn about the member of alliances. Okay, the member of alliances first. Okay, Pacific War as part of World War II. Ya, jadi Anda ingat bahwa perang itu in Indonesia, perang itu terbagi-bagi. Jadi waktu Perang Dunia Kedua itu perangnya ada macam-macam. Ya, di Indonesia dan di Asia terjadi namanya Independence War. Ya, ingat the War of Independence in 1942, 43, 45, 46, 47. Ya, nah, kemudian Pacific War itu adalah bagian ya dari Perang Dunia Kedua. Okay? Nah, what happened? The naming of Pacific War by each actor. Kenapa disebut Pacific War? Ya, member of alliances, Pacific War as part of World War II. Ya, the U.S. ya always use the words Pacific Theater. Ya, which is the war against Japan. Jadi kalau Amerika menyebut Pacific War itu adalah Pacific Theater, yaitu perang melawan Jepang. Ya, the Japanese, the Great War of Asia, Daito Senso, the 15 Years War, ya, Jugonen Senso. Kemudian kapan terjadinya Bapak Ibu? Terjadinya December 7. Yeah, dates and location of the Pacific War is December 7, 1941 until September 2nd, 1945. So 3 years, 8 months, and 5 days. Kapan terjadi? Locationnya. Where is happening? East Asia, Southeast Asia, Oceania, the West Pacific Ocean, and the Indian Ocean. Yeah. The Asia-Pacific War started in September 18, 1931. Yeah. When the Japanese Empire Army attacked and occupied Manchuria, an area near the northeastern China. Manchurian invasion itu adalah start dari Perang Pasifik, ya. Dan itu originally-nya, sejarahnya bisa ditrace beberapa puluh tahun sebelumnya, sebelum terjadinya Manchurian invasion. And this is the Asia Pacific political map in the year 1939, ya. If you see the map here, can you see it clearly? You see that Union of Soviet Socialist Republic itu masih gede, warnanya orange. Ya, the Soviet was still intact. All the brown, the light brown color itu semuanya masih Soviet. Ya, Manchu itu ada yang warnanya pink. Oke, nah, Indonesia mana? Nusantara mana? Nusantara yang warnanya orange tua. Ya. Nah, benua Australia ada di bawah, oke? Ya, terus kita lihat di atasnya yang Asia Selatan tuh yang warnanya ungu muda. Benar ya? Jepang itu yang warnanya apa? Yang warnanya biru tuh. Ya. Ya, biru. Terus yang kanan atas itu Alaska. Ya, Alaska tetangganya Kanada dan Alaska part of the United States of America. Oke? Ya. Japanese plan and troop disposition, ya. The Japanese plan and troop disposition di sini, if you see Japanese plan November 1941, ya, miles at the equator. Jadi dia bikin peta itu nggak main-main, 1.600 mile dari equatorial line. Ya, Indonesia ini dulu namanya masih Nusantara, tuh namanya Malaya, Singapura, Kalimantan masih namanya Borneo. Nusantara namanya masih Netherlands Indies. Lihat nggak? Ya, Southern Army, ya. Jadi they basically spread the army into the Philippines, Thailand, East India, and Malaysia. Ya. Nah, ini bayangkan, jadi dia bisa menjangkau 1,600 miles. Oke, ya. Nih, Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. I visit Pearl Harbor terakhir last December, ya, in Hawaii. Okay, when you see, yeah, what happened in Pearl Harbor, you see the movie also, you realize how the Japanese are really steadfast and focused on their strategy, and when they go to war, they go all out. Ya, nah karena itu Amerika mikir juga, ya, waduh ini ngadepin Jepang ini susah. Tapi I don't think your class already have a lesson about the relations about US and Japan. Okay, US, yeah, deep inside have a very much guilty feeling, yeah, because the US actually committing crime of humanity. Karena kita lihat di sini Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Ini di sini bahwa a map depicting the flight route that the Japanese took in the days following and leading up to the attack on Pearl Harbor. Yang hitam itu, ya. Jadi mereka udah bikin jalurnya dan mereka tahu, ya. Dan pilot-pilot yang pergi itu mereka tahu bahwa kemungkinan besar mereka tidak akan kembali lagi. This is the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Oke, serem ya kalau lihat ya. Jadi kamu bisa bayangkan bahwa this documented. Yeah, this now is a brief history of the Pacific War. Okay, the Japanese fundamental strategy. Lihat titiknya, ya. Ini nomor bulat itu yang biru itu Indonesia. Dia udah tahu dari awal saya mau itu, ya, karena Indonesia itu sangat strategis, ya. Sinya, okay, saya destroy dulu, gitu, ya. Nah, the Japanese fundamental strategy that you see here is actually they try to expand their Japanese empire, ya, karena mereka tahu resourcesnya ada nih semua, terutama yang di tengah-tengah yang warnanya hijau tua. Okay. Nah, now the US strategy, okay, yang merah itu yang Japanese victory, ya, extend to Japanese expansion. Yang biru itu ally, ya, negara-negara sekutu Amerika CS itu yang biru, ya. Sebenarnya kalau dilihat kasat mata, yang lebih besar punya Jepang, expansionnya jauh lebih besar, ya. Tapi allied forces ini berusaha untuk blocking, ya, the Japanese to enter Indonesia and Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is some important battle. Ada Pearl Harbor, ada Coral Sea, ada Midway, Guadalcanal and Papua, the Aleutians, Rabaul, the Gilberts, campaign in New Guinea, ya. Campaign in New Guinea itu maksudnya Papua New Guinea, ya. Central Pacific Island, invasion of the Philippines, Borneo, ya, Iwo Jima, strategic bombing of Japan, Okinawa, plans for the invasion of Japan, and Hiroshima, Nagasaki. This is the effect of atomic bomb. Itu rata semua. Radiationnya sampai sekarang nggak hilang. Ya, sekarang udah 2025, itu terjadi 1945, still the radiation effect is affecting the whole nation. Okay? This is the, what do you call it? The map of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Yeah. Did you find anything suspicious? Coba dilihat. Ya. Jaraknya, ya. Jaraknya 6 Agustus, 6 August 1945, jam 8.15 pagi. Ya. Little boy explode at 600 meter above Hiroshima, immediately killing 70,000 people. Wipe out 90% of the city. 90% dari kota itu hancur, Bapak Ibu. Total of some 140,000 people died as a direct result of the bombing. Ya, this is the Enola Gay. Ya, ini adalah orang-orang yang diperintahkan. Ya, General Curtis, Colonel Paul Tibbets, ya, B-29 Super Fortress crew member. Ini mereka yang ngedrop bom di Hiroshima dan Nagasaki. The surrender ceremony itu 15 August. The Japanese surrender was announced on August 15. Jadi dia akhirnya nyerah 15 Agustus 1945, ya, dan was officially signed on September 2, 1945, ending the World War II or the Pacific War. Ya. Nah, ini adalah suasana penyerahan. Suasana penyerahan dari Jepang, ya, dan mengaku kepada sekutu kalah. Nah, the Japanese naval power and naval warfare strategy. Ya. Nah, sekarang kalau kita bicara strateginya, ini Midway naval warfare-nya, ya. Jadi sebenarnya Japanese itu cara dia placing island-nya, dia tuh pinter karena dia tiap kali dudukin satu island, ya, dia langsung bikin military base. Dudukin island lagi, bikin lagi military base. Jadi dia tentuin rutenya. And when they set up the route, there's nothing to stop them. Kenapa? Karena mereka udah kuasain apa? Energy resources-nya, water-nya, oil-nya. Ya, dia tahu, oh saya harus ngisi pesawat terbangnya, di mana saya bisa stop. Ya, stop and go-nya di mana. Coba bayangin. Logistiknya. Jadi inilah kelebihan dari Jepang. Nah, ini ya United States Saratoga, ya. Jadi mereka tuh dari awal mereka sebenarnya sudah punya teknologi-teknologi ini, ya. Ini Midway yang dipakai untuk Midway, ya. Nah, this is all the general, ya. Not the general, the admiral, ya. Because waktu itu di Navy ada Fuji Nagumo, Isoroku Yamamoto, and Tamon Yamaguchi. Ya. Di sini Midway Naval Battle, total warshipnya 50. Ya. Tapi akhirnya Midway itu US military base located in the Pacific. Tapi ya kalah juga sebenarnya, ancur-ancuran juga. Ya. Ini Mogami class cruiser. Ya. Left gutted and abandoned after the attack of US carrier base planes on June 6. Ini yang Mogami yang hancur. Oke. Nah, ini ada Chester Nimitz, ya, Raymond Spruance, Frank Fletcher, ya. Nah, the lessons, ya. Midway itu cuma 3 hari selesai. Tapi abis-abisan semuanya. Nih. The Battle of Midway was solely carried out by the aircraft to the two sides. Ya, with no battleship or cruisers firing at each other. Jadi apa? Di Midway Naval Battle, ya, sebenarnya yang bertempur adalah pesawat tempur yang ngedropping bom. Jadi tidak pernah ada kapal perang atau cruisers yang saling menembakkan cannon satu sama lain. Oke ya. Nah, jadi Battle of Midway had caused the expansion of Japanese militarism to be halted at Midway. Oke. Nah, oke, kemudian Bapak Ibu sekalian, ya. The victory in Midway mean a lot to US, ya. It is the first victory since the Pearl Harbor catastrophe. Ibu bilang kan, kalah terus kan, ya, nggak pernah menang. Dia menang itu cuma sekali ini doang di Midway. Yang lain kalah semua, ya. Nah, ladies and gentlemen, one thing before the closure, thank you for your kind attention. But before that, now we are in a year in which there's the trade war going on. Okay, I promised to tell you something about the trade war between the US and Japan. Yeah, because of the how big it is and how devastated it is, the Japanese losses in World War II, and the fact that the US committed a huge crime against humanity, especially against Japan. Yeah, the trade deal was the US supported Japanese economic expansion, especially in the automotive industry. Thank you, everybody. Ijin Leaf.